Hello again from my front porch. Well, on the front porch here we talk about lots of different things. We talk about some fun things, we talk about some goofy things, and of course I talk about my book things. I haven't done that in a while. I'm gonna have to do one of those soon. We talk about family things, talk about all kinds of stuff. Every once in a while I do talk about a more serious topic with the intent of not just focusing on the seriousness, but of trying to be a little bit inspirational for anybody else dealing with the similar kind of thing. And today is one of those. Today I want to talk about body self-image because it's very interesting how easy it is to get swept away and caught up in looking at yourself and not being able to see what everybody else sees. And by that I mean, I have a lot of, now first of all, let me back up and say that if you were to look at who my friends are, overwhelming majority of them are women. And I've mentioned that before, that for whatever reason I get along better with women than with men in having conversation and just general things. And so that being the case, I have a number of female friends who constantly put themselves down, who constantly will talk about how they just can't stand to look at themselves, that they feel ugly, that they feel old, that they feel heavy, overweight, whatever. And I find myself looking at these friends thinking, what are you smoking? Because I look at you and I see a beautiful woman. I see someone who, yeah, you have years of experience. You're not a teenager fresh out of high school, but that's a good thing because you're also no longer foolish and ignorant and learning. You've learned life lessons. Some of them have been hard, yes, but look at you. You're still vibrant and you're still grabbing life and you're still just incredible. And having a few extra pounds, it's not that big a deal. I mean, still very beautiful. You don't have to not every woman has to look like Christy Brinkley. And frankly, if every woman did look like Christy Brinkley, then that wouldn't be good looking, or whatever beautiful cover model, superstar you want. That's not even a realistic vision. Well, I have on many occasions had conversations with my friends, female friends especially, a few guy friends that I've had the conversation with, but mostly my female friends. But again, majority of my friends are female, so that's law of averages. But I've had many of these conversations in which I'm the person saying, stop being so hard on yourself. Recognize yourself for the beauty that you have. Recognize that you really are incredible. You're vivacious. You are impressive. You are, all of these things. Well, now it's time for a bit of transparency because guess who has noticed having a few issues of body self-image? This guy right here. I know. Some of you are already going to be watching this going, why would you be having body self-image? Look at all the weight you've lost. You look great. You look fantastic. And that's actually what spurred me to want to do this segment. Because over this last weekend here, I've heard that a lot. I got together with my friends Mike and Julie Sweat Friday night out at the State Fair. And I hadn't seen them since Super Bowl because I went up to their house for Super Bowl party like I do every year. And then, of course, we do this annual thing at the State Fair every year where we go out and watch Bob Dorr performing. But still, months go by between when we see each other. And the two of them, each of them individually and even collectively, they just kept talking about how great I looked, how I was losing weight and how I was looking so good and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, you'd like to hear it, that's really great, but I have to admit, Saturday I got up and I'm getting ready and I see myself in the mirror, and you know what I see? I don't see a guy who's getting thin. I don't see a guy who's looking healthy, or a guy who's doing some degree, small amounts, but some degree of exercising to try to tone up, you know, the flab a bit and try to, you know, straighten the show, straighten the back, you know, stand up straight, you know, which helps the slouching, makes you not look so pudgy too. But still, all I see is the pudginess, because I see, look, there's still some pudgy here, and I don't want the pudgy. I want like that. And so I focus on that, and I see that, and I think, and I look at myself in my mirror and I say, wow, I just still look so fat. At times like that, you know what I need to do? I need to remind myself the journey that I've taken from where I once was to where I'm at now. And so I keep around a few reminders. One reminder is this shirt I'm wearing, and I have other like this. This is kind of a worn shirt. You can see the collar's all worn out and stuff. But this shirt had been hanging in my closet, stuck away. Actually, it was in my upstairs closet because I couldn't wear it. I couldn't get the buttons to button, and when I did, they were all stretched like that. And now, look, now I have it on, and I actually have some room in it. That in and of itself is a little bit surreal for me. I still am not fully grasping what that means. So here, let me illustrate it this way too. Here is one of my belts, okay? Okay, you see my belt, and you're not gonna be able to see the whole thing because I won't be able to do it, but you see, here's the belt. Well, I also have kept in my closet a belt that I used to wear before I started losing all the weight. This was the belt that I used to wear, and now I do this so that I have my reminder. So here you go, buckles together. See the buckles together? And now I'm going to show you where the links go. Okay, so holding the belts together, and you will see very quickly. There's the end of the belt I'm wearing now, and there is the end of the belt that I used to wear. That's a significant gap. That is a significant gap in the belts right there. Look at that. That's pretty big. And it's important for me to keep track of that because that reminds me that I have made progress. But what's interesting to me though is before I really started losing the weight, I didn't really have this issue. I was self-conscious about it to an extent. I would always make sure that I was, wearing a jacket as much as possible, a blazer or something, and I wouldn't button it because, I would want the jacket to kind of hang over because in my mind it kind of hid a bit of the belly that was there. And if I wasn't wearing a jacket, I had some shirts that I bought that were a little oversized, not dramatically, unfortunately. Now I put them on and they're way oversized, but they weren't too oversized, but they were a little bit oversized because my theory was that, I know it's going to stick out in the front, and so I would untuck all the way around in the back and the sides so that somehow in my mind I'm thinking that I'm fooling people, that people would see me in that shirt and they would assume that I wasn't overweight, I was just wearing a baggy shirt. Now I doubt that really worked. So anyway, I was aware of it and I was self-conscious of it, and I hated being in photos too because every time I'd see myself in photos or in video, all I could see was, look how fat I look. And so, it's not to say I was ignoring it before, but to an extent, I accepted it. I didn't like it, but I had accepted it. Now, I've told this story to people before, and they say, well then what started, what triggered you to do the weight loss? Because now I'm down, I don't know, 40 to 50 pounds from where I was. What triggered it? What started that? I honestly don't know. I really don't know. I just one day I decided, you know what? I'm tired of just eating junk food all the time. I need to not do that. I need to not drink soda all the time. It was diet soda, but still soda. I was drinking that instead of water. I was just all the time. And so I just started making some of those changes because I felt like I just needed to make the changes. And as a result of those changes, I started losing weight, which then inspired me to make some more changes and to stick with it and to keep doing things. And I kept losing more weight. And now, you know, I was at one point, I was up to 225, 230 in that ballpark in there. And now I'm back down to the 180, 185 fluctuating spot. And so, you know, it's been you know, that's a gap. And certainly being diabetic now has helped in this sense because I've had to change my diet to a more healthier option, and that's also helping to continue. And I'm trying to be more diligent in doing my exercises. That helps too. But still now that I actually am thinner, now that I actually am slimming down, now I can see the shape I want to have. And this is the important part. I can see in my mind's eye the shape I want to have, and I look at myself in the mirror and it's not the shape that I see. And so my reaction is to be self-defeatist, is to look at that image in the mirror and be sad, to be disappointed that I don't yet look like I'd like to look. And I think that's probably what a lot of people struggle with. Some may struggle with what I was struggling with before. You look at yourself and you just think, man, I'm fat. I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I feel. And you struggle with that and you're like, well, I don't even know how to change it. I don't know what to do. Start small. Start with simple things. Just stop eating so much junk food. Stop drinking so much soda or beer if you're a beer drinker, or the carbs. That's the big thing. You know, but just don't try to make wholesale change. Just make incremental changes. Choose this thing to change, and then that thing to change. Move yourself from that I feel fat, I want to move into a healthier spot. But once you get to the healthier spot where I am now, you're not out of the woods. In fact, at least my experience now is, you're more susceptible to having issues of looking at your body shape and not being happy with it. So I also have, as a reminder, this blue blazer, heavy wool blazer. I actually bought this blazer. This was one of the last items of clothing I purchased while I was still heavier, before I started losing weight. I actually paid for this blazer and then paid extra to have it fitted. So this is not something I just pulled off the rack and threw on. It was actually tailored to make sure that it fit me. Now, it was not designed to fit me snug and tight. It had breathing room in it, so it wasn't skin tight to me before, but it fit like a jacket should fit. Little extra room, not overly tight to you. I've kept this even though I cannot even remotely wear it now, and I will show you why right now. Keep in mind, I did used to wear this blazer, but now I put this jacket on, and here it doesn't look too bad. The shoulders stick out maybe just a little bit much, but when I stand up, notice that with this coat, if I were to close it, if I were to put it to the point that feels normal, I could overlap it to that extent. Look how much I am overlapping because this coat sticks out like that from me. I'm right here. Here is the coat itself. Now the sleeves, still the right size, but the rest of the coat, way too big. Now I keep this not because I expect to ever need it again, but because of times like this, when I might need a reminder to say, wow, is it really worth it? Have I actually achieved anything? Yes, I have. Look what I've achieved. And I keep the belt so I can look at them and I can say, look what I've achieved. Look at the difference in just the simple belt that I'm wearing. So there you go. Bit of transparency for me, talking about my own perceptions of things, because I think there are a lot of you out there that struggle with the same things too. Now, I don't want to be all preachy about it. I'm not going to say that, oh, just put your mind at ease. And it's a struggle. The mind is a powerful thing. It can be used very powerfully for good things. It can be used very powerfully for negative things. And when we get negative thoughts in our heads, it is so hard to overcome those things. The example that I've heard that my pastor used to use up in Ames all the time, or not all the time, but I heard him say several times, was if you talk to 10 people in the church foyer and they all come up and say, hey, you're looking good, hey, that's a nice tie, hey, you got your haircut, hey, and you talk to one person that walks up and goes, man, where'd you get that tie? Is that on Blue Light Special at Kmart or something? I hope you didn't have to pay too much for it. But hey, looks good on you. And then walks away. Even if they're trying to be funny, not insulting, that hurts, that digs. And though you may have talked to 10 people who are wonderfully flattering to you, that one person says something negative and it cuts you. And what do you dwell on the rest of the day? That one person's comment. Why? Because our mind grabs onto that negative and runs with it and just drives it home. And we can do that to ourselves. And that's where the negative body self-image is a problem. Realistically, if I didn't lose any more weight, if I just maintain where I'm at now, I'm in good shape. I really am. I'm in a lot better shape than I was. And frankly, I'm in better shape than I've been most of my adult life right now. I am 50 years old and I guarantee I am in better shape than I was when I was 30. I say that completely confidently, because I know what my lifestyle habits have been, and I know what they are now, and I know that right now today I'm in the best shape I've been in 20 years at least. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to stop. That doesn't mean that I'm just going to coast. It's an ongoing effort, an ongoing job, and I'm committed to doing that. And you know what? I am committed to one day being able to say, look, I don't even have the little extra right here. That it's I'm not looking for the hard chiseled six-pack, but to just not have the flab, just to not have the little hangover, even a little bit of it. That's the goal. Now, will I get there? I don't know. But because that maintains being my goal, it gives me something to keep shooting for. The key is, on that path, I need to not get discouraged because I'm not there yet. So, that is a lesson for me as much as for the rest of you. But I do encourage you, if you look at yourself in the mirror, you see yourself in photos, and you say, I don't like the way I look, well, you know who can control the way you look? You can. I'm not being trite, I'm not being cliche, and I'm not saying it's just, make it happen. I realize it can be a struggle, and there might be issues you have to deal with. But if you really want to do it, you can do it. Trust me. I never thought, when I was looking at myself thinking I was fat, I wanted to be thinner. I never really thought I would be, honestly. I just accepted that's where I was. And yet now here today, I am this guy now. And I like that. You can be that person too. Think about who you want to be, and then go out and be that person. All right. I'm going to let you go before it gets way too sugary. I'm diabetic. I can't handle that sugar. But seriously, this has been weighing on me for the last few days here with the conversations that took place and the disconnection between what I was hearing from people and what was going on in my own head. And I really felt like this was something to share with you all because, like I said, I suspect some of you or people you know are battling with this same thing. And please feel free to share this video with anybody that you feel would benefit from seeing it as well. So, with that, I'll let you go. I'll see you next time, right here from my front porch.